Hello and welcome to my video all about how to knit 2/1/2 cables. The forward slash in the abbreviation stands for over. So really these cables involve taking 2 stitches over 1 stitch over 2 stitches. You'll find that this kind of cable, which has 3 numbers in its abbreviation, is found where 2 cables cross. If you'd like to understand these cables further, then please feel free to take a look at my video all about this subject. Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do a 2/1/2 LC, LPC, RC and RPC. So that's a 2 over 1 over 2 left cross, left purl cross, right cross and right purl cross. I've cast on 20 stitches and I've already started a 2 over 1 over 2 left cross cable on a stockinette background with a garter stitch border. As you can see, this creates a cable strand at the front that's 2 stitches wide. Right, so to begin I'm going to knit 6 stitches. This will take me up to where the previous cable strand that I've just knitted finished. The first thing to note about 2 over 1 over 2 cables is that they are worked over 5 stitches. You can easily work this out by just adding up all the numbers in the abbreviation. So in this case that's 2 plus 1 plus 2. So to begin a 2 over 1 over 2 left cross, we first slip 3 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle. So that's stitches 1, 2 and 3 now on the cable needle. Because this is a left cross, we hold the cable needle at the front. Then we knit the next 2 stitches, so that's stitches number 4 and 5. This action means that those 2 knit stitches are taken behind the first 3 stitches and are now at the back. These 2 stitches are represented by the last number in the cable abbreviation. We then need to slip purlwise the leftmost stitch on the cable needle and take it back onto the left-hand needle. This stitch was the 3rd stitch to be removed from the left-hand needle, and we're now going to knit it. As you'll see, it remains in position number 3. Therefore, we refer to this stitch as a stable stitch. In the cable abbreviation, it's the 2nd number that refers to this stitch. And finally, we knit the 2 stitches from the cable needle. So these 2 stitches have been passed over the other 3 stitches in this cable cross. As you'll see, this results in a left leaning cable that's 2 stitches wide. The central stitch out of the 5 has remained in the same position, while stitches 1 and 2 have swapped places with stitches 4 and 5. Okay, so now I'm going to knit to the end of the row, do a wrong side row and then come back and show you the left purl cross. Because I want to line up this next cable with the previous cable, I've already knit 9 stitches. And then to start a 2 over 1 over 2 left purl cross, we're first going to slip 3 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle. And because we're knitting a left cross again, the cable needle will be held at the front. Then we knit 2 stitches, and these stitches of course are going behind the 3 on the cable needle. Then we need to slip the leftmost stitch from the cable needle to the left-hand needle. Make sure to do this purlwise so that you don't twist it. This stitch is referred to by the 2nd number in the cable abbreviation, and it's going to be a stable stitch because it doesn't move to the right or to the left. Since this is a purl cross, we're now going to bring the yarn to the front and purl this stitch. Then take the yarn to the back again, and finally knit the 2 stitches off the cable needle. These 2 stitches are referred to by the 1st number in the cable abbreviation, And the reason for this is because those two stitches are at the front and form that front cable strand. As you can see, this results again in a left leaning cable strand that's 2 stitches wide. In the center of these 5 stitches is the purl stitch, which is the stable stitch. You can recognize the purl in the center of these 5 stitches by the little bump of yarn, or the purl bump, right next to the needle. I'm now just going to knit to the end of this row, do a wrong side row, and then come back and show you the right cross. As you can see, I first knit 9 stitches. Then to start a 2/1/2 right cross, we first slip 3 stitches purlwise to the cable needle. Since it's a right cross, we're going to keep the cable needle at the back. We then knit 2 stitches. These 2 stitches are going to form the cable strand at the front of your knitting, and this action is taking them over the top of the 3 stitches on the cable needle. We then need to slip purlwise the leftmost stitch from the cable needle back onto the left-hand needle. And then we knit that stitch. This stitch remains in the center of the 5 stitches throughout the whole process, and therefore is a stable stitch. And finally, we knit the 2 stitches off the cable needle. And since all the other stitches have passed in front of these ones, these 2 stitches will now be at the back. So if we look at the result, you can see that we now have a right leaning cable that's 2 stitches wide. The stitches in positions 1 and 2 were in positions 4 and 5, and vice versa, while stitch number 3 has remained as stitch number 3. Okay, so now I'm going to knit to the end, do a wrong side row, and then show you the purl version of the right cross. To begin, I first knit 6 stitches. This was to line up the cable with the previous cable. And then, to begin a 2/1/2 right purl cross, you first need to slip 3 stitches purlwise onto the cable needle. And since it's a right cross, we're going to hold the cable needle at the back. We then knit 2 to bring 2 stitches over the top of the 3 stitches on the cable needle. Then we bring the yarn to the front and slip the leftmost stitch from the cable needle to the left-hand needle. We then purl this stitch and then take the yarn to the back. Finally, we knit the 2 stitches from the cable needle. Since the other 3 stitches have been passed over these 2, then these 2 stitches will sit at the back of the knitting. And the result is a right leaning cable strand that's 2 stitches wide, which has been passed over 1 purl stitch, and those 3 stitches have been passed over 2 knit stitches. The central stitch has not moved left or right, and so is a stable stitch. You can recognise the purl in the centre because you can see a bump of yarn, or a purl bump, right next to the needle. Normally, purl crosses are used for cables that are on a reverse stockinette background, whilst regular crosses are used for cables on a stockinette background. And that's it, that's how you knit 2/1/2 cables. I really hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.